guys, it's your friendly in the middle of nowhere cul-de-sac Sarah here. Does that work? Can I use that as an intro? I'm going with it, I don't care. Anyway, I'm bringing back car reviews for 2019, starting with this, the Fiat 124 Abarth. Now, I have driven this car in the past at a different press event a few months ago, and when I saw this was available to do a review on, I jumped on the opportunity because this, hands down, is one of the top 3 favorite cars I have ever driven. And I've driven some pretty amazing cars, but this car really stands out to me, and well, I'll get to that later. Oh, eating my hair. All right, if you've never seen one of my car reviews before, I want to let you know ahead of time, this is not going to be your basic average consumer-based review. This is going to be more of an enthusiast-focused review because I am a car enthusiast and a mechanic before I'm a journalist. So just let you know, we're getting that out there. This is for people who buy cars because they enjoy to drive and they're looking for cars for tuner platforms as well. So I'm gonna not bore you with the basics. I'll keep it kind of simple in here. The interior is basically the same as the ND Miata with minor tweaks and changes. The things I do enjoy about the interior on this car is the Recaro package. I think hands down, I would definitely opt for the Recaros, especially because the heated seats in this car are so powerful that even when it's like 50 something degrees outside like it is today, I can drive around with the top down and just keep the butt warmers on high, and that's perfect. These cup holders, if you pull up on them, they pull out and you can reposition them. So you can move this one and you can stick it over here in the footwell area of the passenger compartment, or you can clip it in right there. I think it's clipped in. I actually prefer them right here. I never hit them or had any issues with my drink moving when I'm driving and shifting gears. Even if you're giving it hell, you still won't elbow your drink. So it's actually a really good placement for cup holders. As far as the convertible top goes, I've never really driven that many convertibles before, just the S2000 and a Beetle convertible actually. And I've never really cared to own one personally, but I actually think I would get this in a convertible because you can only get it in a convertible. There is no RF version like you can get in the ND Miata, which I think is kind of a setback because this car, if it was like a Targa, or especially if this came in a coupe with like a fastback, oh my god, that would look so good on this car. Anyway, the top's pretty easy to open and close. It kicks the windows down. Kind of scared the hell out of me the first time I did this. And then you just, and it locks in place. Put this guy back up, pop that lever, and then go like that. See? It's pretty easy to put the top up and down on this thing. It does have a glass back window, which is a huge plus. You don't have to worry about this yellowing and fading. This is probably the limit of what I would consider comfortable for me, being 5'11" to drive. I have plenty of headroom. I don't hit my knees on the steering wheel. I can't tilt the seat back any further than it already is or put it back any further than it already is. But I'm not uncomfortable in this car. And I did drive it for about an hour solid, and I know that's not very long, but I wasn't uncomfortable at all. It's kind of like you put the car on rather than you get in it. As far as cons go for the basics on the interior, one thing I didn't like about this thing is when you go to change gears, I kept hitting the infotainment joystick knob dongle thingamabobber with my arm, and I would turn it off satellite radio and I'd go to like FM, and then I'd hear commercials about payday loans and burgers. Aside from that, the only other con was getting out of the car. Even though I'm 5'11", that's probably part of the issue. It was kind of weird getting in and out of this thing, but my roommate is 5'2", and she even thought it was weird getting out of the car. Really awkward. It's kind of like watching a horse give birth, trying to get out of this car or something. Baby horses are cute. Anyway. Oh god. The stuff I do for you guys. Oh. Oof. Jeez. Shut sesame. Now this one is fully spec'd out with all the options you can get on the 124 Abarth, except for the automatic transmission, which I personally think this car should only be equipped with a manual transmission. Fully spec'd out is $38,000, so it's kind of not really that affordable rear drive turbocharged car anymore. 38 grand's kind of tipping the scale, getting into the realm of other cars that you can buy for that money. Enough about the basics though. Let's talk about the nerdy specs and then drive it. So here's something you don't see in a car review too often. I brought the car in my garage at my house and I have it parked next to the MR2, which if you're new to my channel, I have a 91 Toyota MR2 project car that I am doing build series on. There's a link up above to the playlist on that car. But I wanted to get the car in here next to the MR2 to give like kind of a size comparison of just how small this car is. I mean, this thing is a 91 and well, compact cars back then were actually compact. And this thing is almost the exact same size as the MR2, which is awesome. I love how small this car is. I think that's one of my favorite features about the ND generation Miata and the 124 Abarth is how small they are and like how true to their roots they're staying for car enthusiasts. This absolutely adorable little Garrett 1446 Turbocharged allows the Abarth Edition 124 to put out 164 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque, which is oddly only 4 more horsepower than if you were to get the base model version of the 124 Spider, which kind of opens the question, would it be better if you're planning on building a project car to save over 10 grand and just buy the base model edition and add the upgrades yourself? As far as tunability goes, now these have already been swapped. There's videos of an LS swap and an ND Miata, as well as the Fiat 124 RGT, which is actually a WRC spec rear drive class rally car that has a 1.8 liter swap, which I believe was derived from the Alpha 4C. So there's plenty of swap options as far as engines go, but for me, if I were to purchase this over the Miata, the reason why I would is for the fact that it's factory forced induction. I just think that there's so few cars on the market that are affordable, that are rear drive with a turbocharged engine and a manual transmission. And that's why I would choose this over the Miata, is for the engine that's in it. I actually wouldn't swap this thing. I would just work with what we have here. Cute little 1.4 liter, that sounds incredible. New for 2019 is the Monza exhaust system on this car, which it sounds so perfect. I don't think I would ever put an aftermarket exhaust on this thing. I would just leave it as is, and I've never said that about a car before. Usually I like making it louder, but it's just the perfect exhaust note. It sounds so good, and that was the thing this was missing before that the 500 Abarth had over it, was the fact that it sounded bonkers, and to me it was one of the best sounding 4 cylinders on the market, and now it sounds like its little egg-shaped brother. Good. The car is equipped with a Torsen LSD, so for those of you down under that like to do the skids, what? Come on. My accent's not that bad. Is it? I'm sorry. I tried. Anyway, it has LSD. Also new for 2019 is the Veleno appearance package, which includes this red front lip, the red mirror caps, and the little red tow hook cover on the front grille, which at first I had no idea what it was. It looked like a little pog or something. I was kind of confused. But it has a little arrow on it, and it's absolutely cute. Another must-have package if you were to buy one of these is the Brembo brake package that this one is equipped with. I hands down feel it's worth it just because it's kind of like eye candy behind the wheel, but also it has amazing stopping power. Make sure there's no one behind me out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, yep, it stops. Good. It's better to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow, and I think that's why this would make a good daily driver, because you can hoon around in it and not break the speed limit, because on paper it's not really that fast of a car. It's respectable, it holds its own, and on a track it would dominate against cars a lot higher horsepower than it, just because of how small and lightweight the car is. But daily driver wise, like if you're single and you don't have kids and you want to have fun with your life, I don't see why you couldn't have one of these as a daily driver. You can do groceries. Groceries fit in the trunk. I've already done it once since I've had it this week. And I'm comfortable in here. I could probably do a road trip trip. Might have to stop a little bit more frequently for gas. On the highway, it's rated for 35 miles per gallon, and I bet you if you hypermile this thing, you'd eke out quite a bit more. So all in all, it should have a combined fuel economy of 30 miles per gallon, and I see that as completely achievable, as when I was driving around to go to Cars and Coffee this past weekend, I averaged 28.9 miles per gallon. I know some of you are probably disappointed that I didn't drive the car with the top down, and I have to say it was solely because of audio. I could not capture good enough sound with the top down, and I just didn't feel it was right to put that in the video when all you hear is wind buffer and my voice kind of faintly in the background. So, oh well. Speaking of audio though, it does have speakers in the headrest, so when you're driving with the top down and you have a Bluetooth call, or if you're listening to music, there's sound that comes out of the headrest, which is a really awesome feature. It's smart. We will give this thing the beans real quick. Sport mode engaged, traction control off. Not really gonna give it a heavy launch. Oh yeah. Oh, this thing is good. Well, I've driven a lot of cars on this channel. I reviewed a lot of cars, and I have to say this is one of the few that I would actually consider selling my daily driver for and buying one of these. Now, I'm not saying that's happening, but that is to give you an idea of how impressed I am with this car. It stands out that much. So that says a lot about this thing, and I really appreciate that about a car. It's a character that matters to me. Anyway, if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen a bean score before, or know what the hell I'm talking about with a bean score, it's a rating of 1 to 5 beans based upon the feeling you get driving the car as far as power goes. How many beans can be extracted from it when you give it the beans. The 124 Abarth actually gets a score of 1 espresso bean coated in wasabi. It's an espresso bean coated in wasabi because it does not feel slow when you drive it, and that's all that matters. And this is a great tuner platform, and it has a lot of potential. Anyways, I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.